What's up, everybody? I'm on day 30. Made it to day 30. I think I did my numbers wrong here because I was looking at my videos, and the last one we did yesterday was 28 of 28, but I already have a 28 of 28, so I'm calling this one 30. Let me go through my list here. It says January 13th was day 1. So I don't know if I'm on 30 or not because let's see. So basically we have 13, 20, 27. Yeah, I'm on 30. So I did that wrong. But apparently, whatever, it is what it is. Tyler's not with me today. I'm alone. I'm going to try to, I listened to these back and realized my voice is really low and it's just really, like, not very excitable. I'm not very excited, it seems. So I'm going to try to fake that. The point of this thing is to learn how to do this better. So here we are. Hopefully the sound is good. This morning I woke up and I had this, I don't know, the algorithm on Instagram or whatever just served me this one specific thing here. And I've seen this before. And so basically, it was on the Doge official. I don't know if it's the actual official, but there's some account called Doge Official, and it's basically just, talking about all the Doge crap that is going on, all the, them hopefully fixing the issues, right? But anyways, let's watch this video here. I don't know who this dude is, okay? But I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the way that they're going to take over, okay? The way the communists would take down America if they were able to. Now, this is interesting because a lot of the stuff that they talk about that they're going to do, they've done. It's happened here. We've seen it. So let's listen to this and see what happens here.
The following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic."
Okay, did you hear that? When certain obstructionists become a problem, you need to label them, right? Your enemies, you need to label them as fascist, Nazi, anti-Semitic. Okay, so which party is constantly called these three things, right? Maybe not the anti-Semitic, but we're constantly called a racist. Racist, Nazi.
In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind.
Fascist political party.
Radicals on the far right.
Anti-Semitic.
Xenophobic.
Transphobic.
Uncle Tom's white supremacist.
Domestic terrorist.
Neo-Nazi organizer.
Nazis.
You are an anti-vaxxer.
Anti-vaxxers.
Racist.
Okay, then it just ends there. But it's so interesting that, it's like they claim to be the party of inclusion because they're including everybody. But the problem is that the way that they include everybody, like welfare, for instance, is when you give people a handout like that and don't force them to go find their own way, then it's basically wasted. Easy come, easy go, right? The money comes easy, the money goes easy. They don't, since they're not like working for it, they're not gonna like be good stewards of it. And essentially that's what the issue is. And so they end up staying in that state. Well, like what I would like to see is them to come out of that state, to climb out of the hole and rise with me. Like if we could all rise together, we would be a lot better off as a nation. We'd be a lot better off as a people, like these people that are on welfare for 30 or 40 or 50 or more years. That is the wrong way. And the reason is because sometimes when you give people things, then they don't go work for them. If they don't go work for them, they have no way or ability. They never find a way or ability to work for themselves. You know, they never find a way to go make it on their own. And I mean, I was telling somebody the other day how many ideas are wasted. How many ideas are wasted because people are not forced to get up and go out and kill it and then bring it home. You know, how many great ideas are in the heads of people just sitting on the couch on that government cheese. You know what I mean? Now, like, obviously we should help people who need help. But let's be honest, a lot of people on welfare that I've known over the years didn't need to be on welfare. They were, you know, willing. They were able to work, I should say. They, you know, obviously some people aren't, and we should take care of them. And we can, you know. But isn't that interesting that it's like there's another video, and I wish that I could find it, and it's similar to this one, but it basically states, and I think it's from like a KGB member or something, and he's basically talking about how they're going to take down America. And this is what it describes. And I wish I could find the video to show it, but it literally describes how if they divide us as a people, then they'll be able to take us down. And it kind of makes sense, right? With divide and conquer or whatever. So, I mean, yeah, it's like, what, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't get that point of view. Like, I don't get the point of view of fighting with my Democrat friends, my liberal friends, my leftist friends, like people on Facebook, you know, or people I've known over the years. Like, I had a guy today, he posted this big old long post on Facebook, and it basically said he went to buy a healthy snack, and it was like a dried fruit or something, you know. And but he found chemicals in the ingredients list, and they were not good chemicals. And somebody in the comments was like, well, you know, hopefully RFK will come get rid of these chemicals. And instead of like being able to see what is happening, you know, we've had all of these years of this supposed poison. You know, I don't know for sure, but it seems like poison sold to us in the store, right? And then somebody comes along and is ready to get rid of that poison, the same poison you're complaining about. Like, you're literally complaining about it. They're complaining about it too, and they want to do something about it, and you want something done about it. To me, you guys are on the same team. RFK and my Democrat friend are on the same team. They want the same thing. This is what I see. But in his reply to somebody who said, well, hopefully they can do something about that, RFK can do something about that, this friend of mine in the reply to that comment said, all this other crap. Well, dude thinks that vaccines cause autism. That's what his reply was. Like, I've never heard that out of RFK. Maybe he does think that. I don't know. A lot of people think that. You know, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, it's been proven wrong, but you know what? All this food was proven healthy for us too. So think about that. There's studies out there that say this food is good, and it's in the store and sold. There's also studies out there that say vaccines don't cause autism. Think about it. You know, you need to wake up. It's time to wake up, not be woke, you know. So, you know, so the other thing that he's saying in there is that he chopped his Wells head off at some point or something. I mean, I don't know. I heard this crazy story about RFK at some point where he, like, there's well washed up on the beach, and he went down there and chopped its head off and took it to some, like, scientific research institute or something like that. Maybe I got it wrong. But let's say that was 20 years ago. I mean, you know, I don't understand, you know, I heard the dude had some adverse effects. Like, this is what I heard, is the reason that he talks the way he does is because he got a vaccine and it affected him in that way. Like, wouldn't you be down with, I mean, you wouldn't want vaccines if that happened to you, if you got injured from a vaccine. All of these medicines have side effects. You know, I mean, it's just interesting to me. If you're walking around the world, you know, you get out of your cave and then you have a headache and you eat a plant, okay? like back in the day, like back in the way days before anything. You're just like killing tigers, you know. So you're walking around the world, you got a headache, you eat a plant, your headache goes away. Well, what do you do? It's not like you're going to sit there and think, okay, well, I ate that plant and my headache went away, and then I had all these other side effects for it too. You know, like that's not an actual thing that would happen. You would just have eat the plant and your headache would go away. Well, how come now our medicine is so full of side effects? Why is there not a different way? I don't know the answer to this. This is just a legitimate question. But, you know, so RFK takes these vaccines allegedly and gets sick in that way. You know, I mean, it's just interesting. And then it's also like, it's so interesting to me how we always do this, and both sides do this, and I always thought it was a problem, how they go back in the past, like however many years, and then, you know, try to base something like that, you know, to think about that. So what if his job was to remove that whale's head? I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I don't know if you know the whole story. Like, maybe you can explain it to me. Like, I don't know. Maybe if anybody's listening to this ever and has the story, like, tell me what's going on. Well, so I started watching some more. Oh, the other thing that I was seeing today on Instagram was like other reels of everybody who's saying like, why, like this USAID stuff, all the corruption, it's coming out. If you're paying attention at all, you can see it, okay? The Doge is out there. They're finding all this wasted money, all this money. You know, you worked for that money. You went to work, and a lot of the money that we work for goes away, goes to the government. It's like those are hours of your life that you'll never get back. They're never coming back. These people took that money, and what did they do with it? Okay, did they do good things with it? Did they do bad things? It looks like they allegedly might have money laundered it. I don't know. Or something, you know. Why do I need my money to go to somewhere else? Okay, so let's talk about that. But also, like, it's pretty clear and apparent that it went to things that it shouldn't have been going to. You know, whether or not there was actually condoms in Gaza or Egypt or whatever or not, it still went somewhere where it shouldn't have gone, right? So my question and their question on these reels, it makes sense, is doesn't that bother you, Democrats? Why are you so worried about the people who are finding the corruption, whether they're elected or not? Why does that matter? If it's illegal for them to do anything, really think about it, okay? The Revolutionary War was an illegal act against an oppressive government. It was illegal for them to have the revolution. You know what I'm saying? The legality is not the issue. If it wasn't Musk, it would be somebody else, hopefully. The person is not the issue. Musk's team is not the issue. Trump is not the issue. The issue is condoms in Gaza. Why? Explain it to me. So, I mean, you know, the other issues that I see are like whatever Trump did in the past. Explain that to me. Explain it to me. Because what it looks more like to me is it's a witch hunt. That's the way I see it. So, and I mean, it's like you got stuff going on with the Bidens. Some real bad stuff. How come you're cool with that? Go research the laptop. You're cool with that, but you're not cool with the Playboy. You know, Trump's a Playboy. I'm sure there's a lot worse stuff out there, right? Like, this is the way. What about Clinton? Clinton did probably the same things or worse than Trump did. Okay? But go look at the Biden thing. It's worse. And you need to realize that. and then realize that, are you actually for or against a party? Is this a football game to you, or is this reality? Are you brainwashed or not? So I'm taking my own advice here with all of that. And I started looking at leftist creators, Democrat creators. I found one and I subscribed to it just to see. I was like, well, what exactly is, people, what are people on the left thinking about this stuff? Like, do they just hear? And then what I found was that, I kind of mentioned this on my other podcast, but basically one day she's sitting there talking about how Medicare and Medicaid was going to be taken away. That's what she said on her reel. And then, but I'm actually watching the actual press conference, and they're saying it's not going to be taken away. She says it is. They say it isn't. Well, is it or isn't it? She's lying to all those people, basically. Because at that point, nothing had actually happened. Like, they hadn't taken away. So I'm just going to Google it. Is Medicaid, I don't even know, being cut? It's the second search. See, so NPR says why many Republicans think shrinking Medicaid will make it better. So, like, I'm not even sure what Medicaid is, to be honest with you. Here's what I've got, okay? And I mean, maybe we should just do that. Let's just sit here and Google together. What is Medicaid? Is it even good for people? You know what I mean? So Medicaid is a government program that provides health insurance for adults and children with limited income and resources. Okay. So, it's like, once again, back to welfare. So the government gets its money from the people. Okay, a lot of people don't understand this. The government cannot exist without the people. Okay, the people feed the government money. That's the only way it works. Now, it might work differently soon, but for now, that's the only way it works. Okay, so if everybody gets on welfare and everybody gets on Medicaid, the system completely will collapse. There's no more money. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so universal health care. This is a conversation that people don't get. Universal health care or communist health care, that's really what it is, will not work. It will never work as well as you just going and buying your own health care with your own money. It's a lot less hands touching that money. A lot less people need to get paid doing it in that system, right? It just makes more sense. Okay, so now, is Medicaid being cut? Okay. So they say stuff like this. Health insurance for millions could vanish as states put Medicaid expansion on chopping block. Okay, so that means they're not going to make it bigger. How does that mean that if you already have it, it's going to vanish? Obviously, just like every other time, they're going to do some sort of grandfather system. They're going to give you time to figure out what you're going to do. Let's see what this one says. Because it says, why are so many Americans losing Medicaid? Millions of Americans lose Medicaid coverage as pandemic-era policies end. Well, wait. That's not Trump cutting it, though. So, I don't know. Pandemic-era policies. Medicaid recipients typically had to prove their eligibility each year to renew coverage. That stopped. Oh, so they didn't have to prove their eligibility. So now they're going to have to make sure that they're eligible. And listen, okay, this is not a good way to get your health care or to get your insurance. If you have to do this, then fine, you have to do it. But getting anything from the government is not a good way. There's way better ways. It's probably an inferior product. I don't have it, so I don't know. But that would be my guess. Every time I have an experience with the government, it's way inferior to the private sector. It's like back in the day when you had to go register your cars and you had to actually go to the DMV, you were there forever. Now, it's pretty much the same. If you go to the DMV, you have to wait. Last time I had to go to the DMV, I think I was there for 2 hours. Okay? If I want to go register my car, I just go drive it through one of those private businesses, and it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The government has never been good at any of this stuff. So what I could do is I could take this right here, okay? Why are so many Americans losing Medicaid? And I could simply say that under Trump's administration, all these people are going to lose Medicaid coverage. That's what I could say. But would I be correct? Because according to this, it's because of old policies expiring. Those policies were put in place for a pandemic issues, probably to keep people out of government buildings, right? So that they didn't go and make everybody sick, right? So that's literally there. This isn't medical advice either. Okay, so automatic re-enrollment ended in April. Oh, that says January 22nd, 2024. I thought that was 2025. So that was last year. So I don't know. Is Medicaid being phased out? This is 2023. Okay. I don't know. I don't have anything. I mean, this says 1 day ago, but it doesn't say anything about Trump. It doesn't say anything about the tax cuts or anything like that. So let's see. Republican lawmakers in several states have Medicaid expansion in their crosshairs. Once again, it's expansion. So they're saying we're not going to make it bigger. But let's say that they were saying let's make it smaller. I think that would be better. Once again, the DMV situation. You go to the DMV for your car registration, which I get it's all through the government. But once they made it legal for private places to do your registration for you, or for you to do it on the internet, it just got a whole lot better and easier. And it took 5 minutes. It shouldn't take you 2 hours to register your car. If that was a private business that it took that long to do something like that, they would be out of business on day one. They wouldn't last at all. They would just be done. If you went to your grocery store and every time you go there you have to wait for 2 hours in line, nobody would ever shop there. Nobody would. Why would they? They go to the other grocery store and it takes them 5 minutes in line, right? We've got to start thinking about this stuff differently. And so people that are on Medicaid or Medicare, like there has to be a better solution in the private sector for them, you know? Like if you could save your money your whole life, you know, and get to the point to where you could add healthcare into your expenses during retirement. Like, I think that would be pretty good. Once again, though, it's like, you know, anybody that actually needs this crap is always going to be on the backs of society, right? So, like, if you go to the ER for something now, you know, every time I go to the ER, they don't make me pay before they fix it. I've never gone to the ER and they're like, hey, how are you going to pay? In fact, every time I go to the ER, I'm always like, how do I pay now so that it's cheaper? I don't know if any of you guys even know you could do that. Because usually you go to the ER and they just bill you later. And it's like they're going to bill your insurance and then they're going to bill you your part, right? Well, I just literally go, how much to pay now, right? I think the last time I went, I don't remember if I told them I wanted to pay now or if they did ask for money, but it was after they figured out the issue, right? So it's like they figure out the issue first, and then they figure out whether or not you can pay. Okay, well, there's other countries where it's not like that. And I don't remember the exact country, and this was, through another person. It's a third, but basically they said they lived there for a while, this person on YouTube. And, I'm dropping frames. So anyways, they lived there for a while, and when they went to go get something done at the doctor, they just had to pay for it. And they would pay, and then they would get it done. And it was kind of like if they didn't pay, then the doctor wasn't going to do anything for them. That's kind of what the deal was. So, I mean, hopefully it's not too jacked up. There's one person watching, it looks like. So yeah, it's like if you, yeah, I'll repost it if it gets to drop in too many more frames. I don't know why we can't stream in the afternoon. Like every time I try to stream between like noon and 4, well, usually it's when my brother's here, but apparently not today. I don't know if maybe it's because the kids get on the internet or something and it kicks me off. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like that's an issue while we do our band practices, but anyway, so I started watching this the point is I started watching this leftist, chick, and I saw that first initial video where they literally say the playbook is for them to call the opposing party fascists and Nazis and racists and all this crap, right? And that's what they do. Okay, so I started watching. I pull up this for today, the Instagram from that leftist that I started watching, and her very first post that I see today. What do you think is on it? It's like you can't even make it up. Not even a little. The first one I was watching. Yeah. And like I don't know if I want to like put this on here. Maybe it was the second one. It's the second one that she has for that day. I think she's talking about being at a Super Bowl party. But it's like it's so interesting. So this one, I started watching this one, and it's like basically just like the man-hatey, feminist stuff. It's all there. I mean,
you fully aware of what's going on in the United States and just the world as a whole right now. Like the potential for war is real. It's scary. It's debilitating. People don't.
Okay, what does that mean? The potential for war is real. War with who? Like what war? War with like Mexico? War with like in between Russia and Ukraine? Or war between like Israel and God? Like the potential for war isn't going to happen now, she says.
Realize how serious it is and are happy to remain ignorant on the topic. I talked about in another video how I know someone who has to go into people's homes to do his job, and these people are just like glued to the tube. They're glued to Fox News.
Okay, so somebody that she knows goes into somebody's houses to do their job, and people are glued to Fox News, which you really shouldn't be watching the news. Any of it. It's all biased. It's all opinionated. It's all to one side or the other. It's all like
it is indoctrination.
Okay, so I don't know. I mean, if you go watch your side of things, which I think is what she's done, I think she's just as indoctrinated as they are. It's just that she's on the other side, allegedly. But it's like if you go watch your side of things and you keep like going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is true, this is true, this is true. And then the other people say, well, the exact opposite is true, opposite is true. It's like, well, one of you is wrong. How do we figure out which one? The right, the left. And the answer really is that the truth is in the middle. Because what they do is they will take some of the information and give you that, and then they'll talk about that little piece of information. They'll talk about that little piece of information over and over again, right? And then what you'll do is you'll only hear that little piece of information, and you'll agree with that little piece of information. Like my friend with the Wells head, okay? The only thing he knows about RFK is that he chopped a Wells head off at some point, right? Well, I don't know what happened there. That's what I mean. You gotta have the rest of the context, because if you only have that little bit, it's like it's not gonna work. Like what was the whole story around the whole thing? Why would he do that? So, like, think about that. Is this dude just insane? He got to where he is because he's insane because he likes to chop animals' heads off? Like, that's not really what's happening. That might be what you think, but that's not really it. Like
they are taking it for the gospel. And then last night, I went to a friend's birthday party, and just like basically every man in attendance bonding with other men over making disparaging comments about women, including but not limited to their mothers and wives. It was a combined birthday party.
Okay, are they joking? What are they doing? They're calling their mothers and wives what? Are they serious? Do you really think that they have hatred in their heart for their mothers and wives? Let's hear what they called their mothers and wives.
For two men, and one of the men's mothers had arranged the whole thing for him. And there he sat at the table, and he called her a heifer, not once, not twice, but 4 times in front of her.
So, like, okay, it's like, okay, that's not good, right? It's not good for men to call women heifers or whatever. But at the same time, it's like, where's the rest of the context? Is that an inside joke? Does she, like, I mean, we don't know. We don't know if that means something else to them. We don't know if that's the way that they joke. A lot of dudes, and like, I know a lot of women don't understand this, but a lot of guys make fun of each other. Like, my best friends in the world would call me, and I would call them, like, the worst things ever. You know, like, I'm bald. Like, my best friends that I've ever had in the world would constantly make fun of how bald I am. Right? You know what I mean? I keep lifting my thumb off it so it went a little further.
Her feelings. And then I said something about it, and he continued on with it to get a rise out of me.
Here's another question I have, though. It's like, how drunk was he? You know what I mean? And then also, like, just because that dude is doing it or those dudes are doing it, that doesn't mean that we're all doing it. You know what I mean? It's like we have to separate each individual out individually. Like, we cannot do identity politics. We cannot, say just because one dude says something, all of them say something.
And all the men laughed. And then later on, she grabbed my hand and she said, I think you should know I'm a Republican, so we should just get that out of the way. So it's like, oh, okay, so you realize that, like, this is something for you to be ashamed of to the point where you're announcing it to people so that they know. Cool. But then I said to her, like, why would you stand for a group of people who, like, clearly, even according to your own son, like, don't respect women? At which point, she felt like she should let me know that she has a Hispanic daughter-in-law and a queer child. And
okay, why does that matter? Why does it matter if you have a Hispanic daughter-in-law or a queer child? Why does it matter? It shouldn't matter, right? We don't see color. None of this should matter. Why is that a thing to bring up? Like, it's a bargaining chip. Like, it's something that you bring to the table. You know what I mean? Like, it's something you did that people need to love you for. Like it's a thing that you did. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I'm not trying to.
You're still Republican.
I'm not trying to make fun of her. I'm trying to understand why they think that matters. Why do they think that matters? I don't get it, because it doesn't make any sense to me.
You still vote for people who would hurt people who you love and say you care about. I said, you realize that these are the new Nazis, right? Like, these are people.
There it is. Isn't that amazing? We're the new Nazis. It's like the first thing in the morning, I get a message on my Instagram that says that the communists are going to take over by calling us Nazis. And essentially what they're doing is they're changing the truth. Because if you can believe that Republicans are Nazis, then you can believe anything. If you can believe that 2 + 2 = 5, then you can believe anything. And if you can believe anything, then you're so easy to control that we can take over this country. We can divide and conquer. That's what they're saying. That's what they're doing. That's what you are doing when you agree with this stuff. We need to stop it. It's a huge problem. Hopefully we're on our way.
If we were in 1930s Germany, would be exterminating Jews.
Okay, so here's my question to that. If we were in 1930s Germany, they said we would be exterminating Jews. That's what she's
ma'am,
saying.
are you saying?
She's talking about Republicans. And it's like, okay, well, here's my question, though. Is that in 1930s Germany, if you believe the narrative, they do say stuff like they didn't have enough bullets, to do what they were trying to do. Well, what about now? All the people on the right own more guns than anybody. They have more bullets than anybody. That we're armed. They are armed. What's stopping them? Why don't they do it?
You would not hide and...
If you say that that's what they would be doing, how come they're not doing it now? If they are truly Nazis, what's stopping them? now. Nothing's stopping them.
Frank in your attic, you wouldn't hide Anne Frank during the Holocaust. You'd be one of the Nazis. And she had to sit there and think about it. She had to sit there and think about it.
So you start this video out defending her because she's being called a heifer, and you end the video throwing her under the bus. Like, we don't know what actually happened. Where's the context?
About it. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep living in a red state is damaging my, like, it's destroying.
Well, come to the other side. Come to the truth. Find the truth. If you can't keep doing it, come find the truth. Okay, so, basically it's like, if you always go off of that clip, then you're going to be in trouble on either side. This is what they are going to do. They're always going to take 10% of the truth and feed that to you. Whatever 10% they can find that equals their bias. Okay? That's so, like, and both sides will do it about the same story, right? Basically that's what you need to know. And so whatever that 10% is that they're sending to you, you need to go research the rest of it. You need to know what the other 90% is. RFK Jr. or RFK or whatever, like, why did he cut the whale's head off? Like, I don't know, but there's got to be a reason. Are we all actually Nazis now? Are we actually fascists? Like, I mean, I don't think I did anything to be a fascist that I know of. It's also a problem when you call people like me a fascist, because the definition of the word, well, look at this. If you look up fascism, it says political ideology. I'm pretty sure the definition of the word includes government in it, though. I'm not part of the government. But let's see. Wikipedia, fascism is a far-right authoritarian and ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial, I can't say it, leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition. All right, well, okay, so when I looked this up last, like a definition, not Wikipedia, that's not what it said. I don't know, maybe there's like multiple definitions. So we're still on Wikipedia. So it says what constitutes a definition of fascism and fascist governments has been a complicated and highly disputed subject concerning the exact nature of fascism and its core tenets debated amongst historians, political scientists, and other scholars. Okay, so I don't know. We don't really need all that. Let me see if I can find just a regular definition, not Wikipedia. Maybe I should put a fascism definition. Yeah, it's only going to bring up, here we go, Merriam-Webster. Okay. So this says something different than Wikipedia. So, a populist political philosophy, movement, or regime, such as that of the fascisti, that exalts nation and often race above the individual, that is associated with a centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader. Okay, so it's got to be a government. And that is characterized by severe economic and social regimentation and by forcible suppression of opposition. Okay, so that's the big one right there. Forcible suppression of opposition. Okay, so basically you've got to have a government entity that's turning its army against its people for it to be fascism. This is the way I see it. So you can't be a fascist if you're part of the people. I don't see it as being possible, just by definition. Now, obviously, if you go with the Wikipedia definition, the word is the far right thing, right? Like, that's what it said. So, but it seems to me that a left or a right could be fascist. Like, couldn't people on the left take the government and or the army or whatever and use it against the people, like the people on the right? Couldn't they have a forcible suppression of opposition? Also, what is a forcible suppression of opposition? What does that mean exactly? Does that, like, could that mean like when, you know, for the last however many years when USAID like funded this like news organization called like Politico, and it like just, you know, smeared the right, left, like it smeared the right a lot. So the government is supposedly paying Politico. Politico is putting out articles going against. It's almost like that was suppression of the opposition with government money, right? That's almost what that looks like to me. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. But if you have any comments, you know, let me know. If the comments are still turned off, I'm sorry. I forgot. I don't know if I actually turned them back on for this or not. I think I did, though. Sorry they've been turned off. And let me know what you think. Like, seriously, if it's like, if I'm just like out in the middle of nowhere, if I'm just like, you know, saying the wrong things, if I'm thinking the wrong things, then tell me why. If you know me personally, let me know. Like, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook or text me or whatever. Let me know. Come with facts, though. Don't come with like, well, somebody did some crap like 20 years ago, and so, you know, forever he must be whatever. You know, think about it. Think about what people are trying to do now. Think about your past. And think if you've ever done anything that you wish you didn't do. So, and you probably wouldn't want that dragged through the mud. Like, you wouldn't want that stuff brought up and be judged on it. You know, we've all got skeletons. It is what it is. It's like, that's the way this place works, is you get your skeletons and you learn from them. You make your mistakes and you learn, and then you get better and you learn and you get better. So let's look at what people are doing today, not what they did. And I mean, you know, the same could be said for Trump. It's like, yeah, he did some stuff, maybe, allegedly, right? And people, or it was a witch hunt. They were trying to take him down. You know, I mean, what's with the assassination attempts? Like, look at it. Think about it, right? Think about the laptop. Go Google that. Think about it. Like, what's really going on? What are people doing today? Like, how long ago, you know, they found cocaine in the White House, right? What is that? I mean, come on, man. Like, I mean, I don't know. Nobody watching this is... Yeah, anyways, I'm going to sign off. I got a lot of stuff to do. I wasn't even going to go this long. I got to go work on that trailer. But hopefully videos about that will be coming out soon. But thanks for watching. Subscribe and comment. Bye.